If you are a speaker that hates selling, this might be one of the most important videos of your career. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jared Scott. I am a public speaker. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've booked over 1,000 paid engagements, and I did all of that before the age of 30. And today I want to talk to you about the psychology of sales. Psychology is my background. That's what I have my degrees in. That's what I'm fascinated by. Now, before we start, I just have to say, again, I'm not a guru, I'm a guide, meaning I'm not telling you this is how you have to do it, like there's no other way. I'm just telling you this is how I've done it. It's worked for me, and maybe it'll work for you. Here's the truth. Most speakers aren't struggling because they're bad at what they do. They're struggling because they don't understand how people buy. And since they don't understand, and there's uncertainty, that brings fear, and it makes them afraid to sell. You can have the perfect talk, you could have the perfect website, you can have the perfect speaker reel, but at the end of the day, if you do not know how to connect on a human level with a decision maker on one of those discovery calls, then none of that stuff even matters. When I was doing research for this video to see if there's other videos like this, I realized that everybody's teaching people how to write keynotes. Nobody's teaching them how to sell keynotes. So this video is going to change that. Selling your speech is not about becoming a smooth talker. It's not about lying, manipulation, or pushing people to do things they don't want to do. It's not about that. If I could break it down to one word, it would be the word alignment. If you can align your speech with the decision maker's values, then you can close a deal. If you take time to understand the psychology of how people make decisions, principals, event planners, corporate leaders, if you understand how they are making decisions, then you can stop chasing these bookings and you can start aligning yourself with them. And what really starts to happen is they start to just flow to you. This is Sales with Soul 101. If you do this correctly, you will not just get booked, you will get remembered and referred. Let's dive in. As always, we are breaking this into 3 main lessons. Lesson number 1, people buy with emotion and justify with logic. Here's what a lot of speakers don't realize. Decision makers aren't buying your speech. They're buying a feeling. They're buying an outcome. They're buying the emotion and the moment that they are trying to create for their audience. And you best believe while you're giving your speech, they're asking themselves in their head, is this good for my students? Are my students going to feel seen? Is my staff going to feel recharged? Is this actually going to shift the culture on our campus or in our company? So if you're over there pitching just logic at them, you're pitching things like titles, outlines, frameworks, checklists. Those things are great and they work. I tell my speakers all the time to have a framework and I believe in them. But the reality is on a discovery call, that's not what you need to be pitching. You don't need to be pitching all the logistics. That's for a logistic call later after they signed a contract. Right now, you just need to show them the outcome. You just need to get them to feel how it's going to feel in that room when you show up and you deliver this speech. In fact, on one of Alex Hormozi's sales calls, he talks about how we want to sell Maui, not the plane flight. We want to sell the destination, the outcome, not how we're going to get there. So you don't want to get on this call and talk about all the logistics and the moving parts. That's going to give them analysis paralysis and they're not going to make a decision. You want to talk about the destination, what it's going to be like when you get there, the outcome, the feeling, and you want to emotionally pull them into that moment and make it real. So at the end of the call, they're actually feeling what they want their audience to feel. They're like, our audience needs to feel this feeling. I tell my speakers all the time, if you can actually emotionally get them invested on the call and maybe even teach them something, give them a moment that they're going to remember, they're going to get off that call and think, wow, that call was beneficial for me. I could only imagine if we hired them in person to come speak to our staff or to our students. Like, we could only imagine how much better it's going to be because that was already amazing. So let me recap real quick before I move on. You want to emotionally bring them into your story on this first discovery call. You want them to be able to see themselves in your story, and that bridges this gap. Now they're imagining sitting in the audience with everybody else and everybody else feeling the emotions that they're feeling right now on this call, and that's what they want to bring to their audience. If they feel like this is amazing, I want everybody else to feel this. That's the feeling you want them to feel. They buy with emotion, then they justify with logic later. That's when you're going to have the logistics call. You're going to go over all the little moving parts and you're going to give them the logic behind what they just bought. But first, you have to get them emotionally invested. All right, moving on to lesson number 2. Trust closes the gap. That's the next lesson. Now that they care, their next question is going to be, can I trust you? This is where social proof comes in. If you have references, if you have pictures and videos of you speaking in front of other audiences, obviously that takes away some uncertainty, takes away the fear around booking you, and it gets easier and easier and easier the more social proof you have. But even if you don't have social proof, this is how you're going to play it. First, you're going to tell them your story. That was the first step, your why. You get them emotionally invested. And then you're going to turn the table around and you are going to ask them emotional questions. Everybody has pain points. They're on this call in the first place because they have a problem that they're looking to fix. You need to ask them questions to figure out what that problem is, figure out which ones are the most painful problems, and elevate that pain for a moment so that way there's a sense of urgency that they need to book you, that you have the solution to this very specific, very painful problem of theirs. Again, I'm going to use Alex Hormozi as an example. I highly recommend watching his sales videos. He talks about how we sell at the moment of greatest deprivation. So it's like when someone's the hungriest, that's when you want to sell them the steak dinner. You wouldn't sell a steak dinner to someone who just had a steak dinner. That's the moment of greatest satisfaction. That's when you're going to ask them for a testimonial. So you sell at the moment of greatest deprivation, ask for a testimonial at the moment of greatest satisfaction. So let's just pretend that I'm on a call with a principal. I want to momentarily elevate the pain points so that way he's starving in a way for this steak dinner that I'm trying to sell him. Does that make sense? So imagine he says something like, yeah, kids don't really have that much respect for the staff, but we're really struggling with chronic absenteeism. Kids just aren't showing up. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, schools are a business. If kids don't show up, this school's losing money. This is a big problem to him. So I need to go deeper into this problem. I need to ask deeper questions to get deeper answers and elevate his pain around this problem, and then show him how my product, my service could boost the morale, the culture, and get student engagement back up where kids actually want to show up to class. And he's more likely to say yes to me because we made this pain point seem very urgent. And it really is. It really is. So at the end of the day, you're finding the pain point that is the most painful to them, elevating the pain momentarily to bring urgency, and then showing them that you have the solution to this problem. And now they're not booking another speaker, they're actually fixing a problem. For this specific example, which I do deal with a lot, chronic absenteeism, if we can get more kids in the door because we're doing a community event, community night, and we get kids motivated and more engaged, and we create student movements that they're a part of, if we get them to show up, we're actually making the school more money, which justifies them paying me tens of thousands of dollars to do this. All right, moving on. Lesson number 3, simplicity sells, confusion kills. One of the biggest reasons people don't buy is because there's too many options. They are unable to see a clear next step, so they just don't take one. Too many words, too many choices, too much thinking. Their brains are already overloaded. Their schedules are already packed. They don't have time to decode your pitch. What are you selling? What I've learned is if your pitch isn't simple and clear, then people will say things like, let me think about it, or maybe later. And that just means no, not right now. You confuse the hell out of them. That's really what that means. They have no idea what to do next. Let me go talk to somebody. Let me breathe for a second. Like, they're overwhelmed. That's a problem. So here's the move. One clear offer, one clear outcome, one clear next step. Yes, I know as speakers, we have tiers and we have multiple options and we can do all these things. That is not for your first sales call. Again, remember, we are selling the outcome. We're selling this big picture. You're selling your biggest thing. They may not be able to afford it, but we can back off of that on the next call. But we want to get them emotionally invested and excited, elevate those pain points, talk about how we have the solution and the clear next step. The next step is another call that you're going to set before you get off of this call. Don't do it through an email. Before you get off that call with them, you set the next call. And then when you get off that call, you send them a proposal. If they don't agree with the price and they're trying to hit you back like, we can't afford this, you're like, it's okay, come to this call, we can negotiate, we'll work something out, we'll figure it out. And this is where we get creative and we show them our other tiers and our other products and our other services, and you work with their budget. All right, that is it for today's video. If you've watched it this far, then you are probably someone who would benefit from being a part of our Speakhive boardroom. This is where we give our insider tips and tricks and tools and softwares and vendors and all of that stuff. If you want to be a part of the community, just click the link down below. We also have this AI outreach system that we will set up for you that gets leads coming into your inbox every single day, Monday through Friday. That sounds good to you? I will see you on the inside of Speakhive.